Layla Suleiman Gonzalez, Executive Director, Latino Family Commission.
What does the commission do, Layla?
The commission is, by statute, here to advise the governor, work with the state agencies, advise the General Assembly members on how to move and advance legislation and programs and policies that are more responsive to the Latino community.
How do you compare the Latino Unity Day this year with last year or the previous year?
Oh, the excitement around Latino Unity Day this year has been just tremendous. Everyone is looking forward to it. Everybody has been asking us when is it going to be because they don't want to miss it. So we started out, with about 50 people, 50 community leaders that really wanted to have their voice heard in Springfield. And now we have 150 registered. We hope to see a lot of them here today. Throughout the day, we have mothers, we have students, high school students, college students, we have business people, we have community leaders. We have a lot of different sectors of the community today saying we're here in Springfield to speak on behalf of the more than 2 million Latinos that are here in Illinois today.
What you hope to accomplish today?
What we hope to accomplish today, I think, is to speak in one voice and to say that the Latino population is growing in the state of Illinois, that we have made remarkable contributions, that we make a tremendous contribution to the economy of the state, but that we also need the state to invest in the Latino community. So we need the state to be able to invest in equitable education for our children because we are the workforce of the future. There are good news in education. We are entering college at unprecedented rates, but we're not graduating at the right rate. We're not getting there to the certificate or the diploma. We need to get there because the jobs of today and the jobs of the future require some kind of certification, some kind of degree. And so we need to get there.
In what projects, legislation do you have going through right now with the Latino Caucus?
So speaking specifically about education, we work with the Latino Caucus to draft a Senate resolution, which will be working closely with all the public universities and all the public colleges to help them do a self-study, to figure out what's going on, how are we helping Latino students get to that graduation, get to that endpoint, and how can we help them more? How can we make sure that they're supported throughout so they get to that endpoint? We also have a couple of language access bills, one for the new Medicaid programs that are being set up throughout the state, the managed care coordination. We're saying that they need to have a language access plan to make sure that there's meaningful access as required by civil right law. A lot of people think that's just cultural competence, that we should offer language services, but it's not really mandatory. It is actually a matter of civil right that people have access to health services and human services and education in their own language. We also have another language access bill that would have a general state policy. We would be the second state in the nation to enact such a law, so that would be fantastic if that gets through. And then also a racial classification legislation. Latinos are not counted consistently across state programs. So this would make it mandatory, and we have a set way in which we will be collecting information on both race and also Latino ethnicity.
What accomplishments has the commission done so far?
I think we opened our doors a little bit over a year ago, and we had to hit the ground running with health and healthcare. So I think we've done a lot to be able to work with the state to make sure that the healthcare marketplace and all of the efforts that went around the enrollment, that was as responsive to Latinos as possible. The data shows us that Latinos still didn't use it as much or didn't enroll to the levels that we needed to. So we know we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but we were happy to be a partner with the state on that. We've also been working with our community providers, especially around all of the reforms that are happening at the state level with human services and Medicaid and care coordination. It's a lot of changes that are happening. And if the Latino community providers are not sustainable or not strengthened, then they won't be there in the future to be able to help the families as they've been in the past. And we want to make sure that they're sustainable and that they're there to really help the families. In terms of education, we've been working with Mexican American Legal Defense and Education Fund to develop workshops to help DACA students, the Deferred Action Childhood Arrival students, understand what are the rights under DACA for job and school. We also are paying a lot of attention to all of the reforms in the education system in terms of the Common Core and the PARCC testing. We want to make sure that they're responsive to the conditions of the Latino majority schools, and a lot of time there are things, resources that they don't have. We believe that our students should be evaluated fairly. We have a lot of work that we've been doing with Illinois Association of Hispanic State Employees to make sure that we can increase state employment. We're only 4% of the state's, the government, of the state government in terms of our workers, but we're 16% of the population, more than 2 million Latinos. And then we've done a lot of work on the driver's licenses with the Secretary of State. So just about every major project that has been rolled out, we've been there. We've been trying to make sure that we're working hand in hand, representing the Latino community and making sure that all those programs are successful in the Latino community.
Great.